I need to say something about my father. I've taken some medicine. My speech is a little better. My father's name is Clarence B. Jones. He is a sociopath slash psychopath. In 1970, he so brutally beat my mother nearly to death. I called it crimson color hell. He savagely beat her, telling us he would kill her. I was with my brother Dana. He was 6, maybe 7. He hid us away in a basement. I told him I hated him. When we got away from him, he might have been arrested. I remember vividly as a small child trying to make sure that our mother got away from him. I told her to run. She's covered in blood. But he was a smooth talker. It's why my stepmother, Charlotte Schiff Jones, ultimately left him. Two narcissists, 2 peas in a pod. However, he didn't want his children after our mother was dead, and he shouldn't have had them anyway. He gave us away to a man named Mr. Bill Brown. Mr. Brown was a gigolo, tennis coach, useless man and Horace Man, Riverdale, in New York, Riverdale. Lived off of us. Father gave me away to a grown man, and bad things happened. However, I was already being abused by my stepbrother, David Schiff, Shift Management, Los Angeles, California, actor manager. He trafficked me. There is a yellow piece of paper with the documents, the names of the men he trafficked me with. Then he spent decades in threatening me. In my wallet is an envelope, in my wallet is a letter between my father and my stepbrother. They want me to keep my mouth shut. 2 years ago, bad threats. My father is colluding with my trustees. My trustee, Mr. McDonald Budd, Mr. Richard Miller. My mother, Ann Aston Norton Jones, was found dead in a park, ultimately. That's what happened. My father's a convicted felon, financial crimes. One trustee, Judith Dillon Segretti, was found to be a threat to the public interest. I went to authorities. They retaliated against me. There are recordings of Mr. Budd on my iPads and phones of him shouting, screaming, threatening. He loses control. He likes the control and abuse. And my father, because he's a psychopath, he enjoys the attention. My father allowed a woman named Jamie to assault me in January of 2010. The records at the Stanford Hospital. My first visit to the emergency room there, Stefan and Rick told me to go to the hospital anyway. But he said my father's such a psychopath and works with Stanford that Stanford doctors believe he's crazy. His first wife's dead. His second wife's dead. Third wife hit and run. Fourth wife, prison. His current wife says she's my mother to Scholar Smalls at Stanford. That's not true. Lynn is a drunk. Her name is Face in the Plate. She's a drunk who believes gay people deserve AIDS. She's crazy. Judith Hallett, married to Mark Hallett, NIH, was aware of all this, turned her back because she's not a good person with any character. What I do know is people were aware of what was happening and all turned their back. Liberals are ridiculous and conservatives are evil. However, conservatives are smarter about money and liberals spend money but don't do anything. Black people hurt black people. Mexicans are dangerous, and white people control it. White supremacy is the ultimate power in America. It's not some damn manifesto. White people don't care what happened to black people. Harry Belafonte on the cover of Ebony magazine, he hasn't been near a black woman in a lifetime. They're all fakes, they're all frauds. The legacy of Martin Luther King is tainted because the very people in charge of his legacy are a minstrel show, Uncle Tom's. My father is the most dangerous human being in the world that I've ever known, and yet people would rather suck his dick than be honest about who he is. David Schiff, you can hide behind your gate in Pacific Palisades, but it doesn't change that you raped me and intimidated me and threatened me. Your wife had parts of her brain taken out, and she wanted to know what sex was like with you. My other stepbrother, Richard Schiff, actor, wanted to fuck me. That's what he said. That's disgusting. Thank you, Paul, for sticking up for me, but not sticking up for me so much that you ever did the right thing. I come from a family of sick, barbaric people, drunks and drug addicts and liars, and I make no apologies.